Okay, Sonic Boom, 2014. A brand new direction for the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. And let me just tell you guys my initial thoughts and reactions on that. Now, a while ago, we got a teaser image, which basically just showed the four main characters Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy. Just their shadows, just their silhouettes. And everybody's reactions were pretty much unanimous. And the most jarring thing of all was what Knuckles looked like. I mean, ordinarily with Knuckles, we normally have just a basic standard Sonic the Hedgehog body type, just with, spiky fists. But this time, they sort of hulked him out. I mean, he sort of has the body frame of, like, Vector the Crocodile, or and that's probably the most jarring thing of all. But then they finally came out with some more images showing what the characters actually look like. They're wearing bandages. They pretty much got a brand new look. The characters, especially Sonic, are actually taller and with longer arms and legs. And the reactions are mixed. Between, this is a good move for Sega, to Sega's killing the Sonic franchise, which, honestly, I'm really getting tired of hearing. But then they released a trailer for the Sonic Boom video game. Let me just explain. It starts up sort of melodramatic. You got the Sega logo. The ESRB, not yet rated, Peggy 7. And a lot of the trailers I've seen are actually in Spanish for some reason. Good luck trying to find an English one. Anyway. But then, and then you see some of the locations for the setting of the game. Then we hear Sonic and Knuckles talking. Then we finally see what the character models actually look like. But then we actually get some brand new gameplay set to Skillrex Bangarang, no less, which I thought was really cool. And alright, I'm just going to come out and say this. Personally, I think this is a step up. Yeah, go ahead and flag me down in the comments if you want. I think this is going to be a good, healthy change for Sonic. Now, from what I hear, it's not going to be a permanent thing. It's actually just going to be its own little side thing that they're doing. Much like with the Archie comics, it has nothing to do with the actual Sonic, with the rest of the Sonic games. And and they also released a clip from the upcoming Sonic Boom cartoon series, fully 3D animated on Cartoon Network. And from what I saw of it, it looks interesting. That's probably the main word that I'm looking for here. Interesting. And there's, how should I put this? From what I saw, the animation, it's Cartoon Network 3D animation. I mean, the same sort of animation you get at, like, Back of the Barnyard, or Kung Fu Panda: Legend of Awesomeness. The TV series that you normally get off of DreamWorks films. It's the same sort of level of animation, but it's with Sonic characters. All of them have had a bit of an overhaul. But thankfully, the same voice actors are there, the same writers are there, and The humor looks spot on, the action looks spot on, and the character designs I actually find appropriate. Perhaps I should explain myself on this front. Back in the early 90s, I'm sorry to sort of go all trip on memory lane here, but back in the early 90s, Sonic sort of had this short, round, pudgy, short legs, short arms look about him. And, for the longest time, that's really that's really what he had. He had the same design in Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. He had the same design in Sonic Sat AM, the Sonic the Hedgehog TV series. And as well as Sonic Underground, if we're even going to bother mentioning that. And the first 3 Sonic games, the first Sonic, Sonic 2, and then finally Sonic 3, had him in this same sort of design. And the Sonic CD came out and sort of changed it a little bit, sort of a Japanese overhaul. If you played Sonic CD, saw the opening cinematic, or even watched the Sonic the Hedgehog animated movie, you know what I'm talking about. He's not as pudgy. He's sort of like a right between old and new Sonic. And then Sega released the Dreamcast in the late 90s with Sonic Adventure, and they completely overhauled Sonic the Hedgehog altogether. He wasn't short and round. This time he was a bit taller, longer arms and legs. And every time you saw him in a pose, he sort of looks like he's either surfing or winking at you while running or something. It's kind of hard to tell. Some of the poses and some of the promotional art is actually kind of weird. But and they gave him green eyes, longer spikes, and yeah, he's still Sonic, but it was kind of a big change. And for me as a kid, when that happened, I was sort of in my 15. Somewhere between 13, 14, and 15, somewhere in there. And I was a little kid when watching this Sonic cartoon when he was kind of short. They entered the modern age of Sonic around the right time. It was almost as if the hero was growing up with me. I mean, he sort of had that same. He was still a teenager, but he sort of had that same attitude that most kids my age had back then. And alright, let me see. Let me just think. Let me get my words out. Classic Sonic, I feel, was in the 12, 13, and 14 age. And then when modern Sonic came out, he sort of grew up a bit more. He was in the somewhere between 15 and 18 years old. Probably explains why by then he was driving, Sonic Drift, Sonic All Stars, that sort of thing. Oh, I'm getting off track. But we've had that same basic Sonic the Hedgehog design for all these years. Here it is, 2014, almost 14 years later, and we still haven't gotten a brand new design for Sonic. To be honest, the current one has gotten kind of stale on me. I mean, we had Sonic Adventure 2, we had Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Heroes, Shadow the Hedgehog, not to mention the portable games. We had Sonic 06, which I know sucked, but to its credit, it had potential if they had just not rushed it and took their time, fleshed it out a little bit. Well, I'm getting off track again. And then after that, we had Sonic Colors, we had Sonic and the Secret Ring, Sonic and the Black Knight, Sonic Generations, which fantastic game. Sort of a perfect mix of a new and old. And now we have Sonic Lost World, which is by far probably the hardest Sonic game I've ever played, but I don't know if that's because of the game itself or my own skill. I have no idea. Sonic games have come and gone, voice actors have come and gone, and Sonic's overhaul design has come and is gone. It probably hasn't faded completely. I mean, Sonic still has that design for the next Smash Brothers, as well as the Mario and Sonic Olympic game series. But I feel, here I am, I'm 25 years old, and I feel it is time for a new design for Sonic. One to, like, from what I've seen of Sonic Boom, the TV series at least, he appears to be, judging by his height, and judging by the way he talks, and judging by all of that, it's almost as if he's in his 20s now. And honestly, I'm accepting this. I'm looking forward to Sonic Boom, both the TV series and the game, which appears to have the Sonic Adventure formula down, with 4 different characters you can play as, and possibly 4-player co-op play. It just looks like it's going to be a fun game. If they got Skillrex to do the soundtrack, I'm sold. But that's really all I have to say. I mean, as much as I hate change in a lot of different things, I feel when it comes to my favorite characters, Sonic included, who I've grown up with, I feel as though some change is good, and I think a change like this will be healthy. And I hate to sound preachy, but I'm just going to leave on a small disclaimer. Or small, what's the word? I can't think of it. I'm sorry, it's late at night. I can't think right now, but I'm just gonna. I hate to sound preachy, but as for you fanboys out there who are complaining about the tiniest little things like Sonic's arm color, the new designs, all I gotta say is, guys, you are choking Sega to death. I am not kidding. If you keep this up, they're not going to make any more Sonic games, period. And if they stop, I'll respect their decision, but I know I'm going to miss Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm saying, just lay off of them, because I can never think of the right words in situations like this. Just cool it, alright? You're choking Sega to death. They're not going to last much longer with the way they're going. All because of poor sales, all because of preachy fanboys like you. I consider myself one of the type of Sonic fanboy who appreciates Sonic for who he is. I hope to see him keep running towards the future. That's all I have to say. None of this was rehearsed, as you can probably tell. Everything was off the top of my head, which I sometimes hate doing. So, that's all I have to say.